Let us have a quick conversation about the Citibank $5 million EIN only business line of credit. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about the Citibank $5 million EIN only business line of credit. Obviously, $5 million is a maximum line amount, but if you can qualify for $100,000 or $200,000, $1 million or $2 or $3, it depends on the solidity of your business application, and also it depends on your business performance. It's important to understand that when you actually become or you are a Citibank business customer, you have access to a constellation of benefits. Okay, Citibank as a whole, in some circles, does have a less than stellar reputation, but this is not the case when it comes to business lines of credit and business loans. Okay, so no matter what your business requires, their business credit lines can be used to finance a wide range of short-term and recurring needs up to $5 million. $5 million. Talk to me about that. This is really good. So with a continuously available revolving line of credit, you can take care of cash flow gaps, unexpected costs, and business opportunities. So when you think about this line of credit, you want to think about your liquidity strategy. It's all about making sure that your cash inflows and cash outflows are what? Are in sync, folks. This is what it is. It's important. You want to have harmony, operational harmony between your cash inflows and cash outflows. So with this EIN only business line of credit from Citibank, you can basically be more adaptable. You can finance seasonal or recurring needs. So we're talking about seasonality. We're talking about cyclicality. We're talking about sustainability and scalability. Okay. You can purchase inventory and pay operating expenses. You can increase working capital. This is the beauty of this line of credit, to help you actually to take care of a short-term capital needs. Short-term meaning less than 1 year. Okay. And the good thing is there are no restrictions in terms of industries and sectors. So all industries and sectors that are legit, of course, are welcome, and all states. Citibank is a national player. They are a financial behemoth, so they actually cover all 50 states. And one thing you need to understand is that if you are a business owner and you are currently in healthcare, it is easier to contact the healthcare acquisition financing group at Citibank. So they do have a specialized group, and it's called the healthcare acquisition financing. That's only if you are in the healthcare sector. And the line of credit approval goes from 3 to 7 days if all paperwork is submitted on time. They are very fast when it comes to approving the EIN only business line of credit. And for larger amounts, Citi might conduct due diligence and or require audited financial statements. So if you're asking for amounts that go all the way to from 1 million to 5 million, Citibank might ask for additional evidence and conduct due diligence. Let me talk to you about the business credit itself. Okay, so folks, we are still talking about Citibank $5 million EIN only business line of credit. So the line amount, it goes from $10,000 to $250,000. This is if you have a business credit account with them. So this is ideal if your business needs convenient access to cash for short-term needs. The terms are revolving and the interest rates are variable. Okay, so money, folks. So when we talk about $5 million, there are 2 tiers of accounts. The first one is the business credit account. The next one is the relationship ready account. I'll talk about that later on. But if you have this business credit account, that means that you have a revenue less than $1 million a year. So they are okay if your revenue is between $100,000 and $1 million, you will qualify for this business credit limits. Okay, and the length of Citi relationship, 3 years or less. If you have less than 3 years in terms of relationship with Citi, they will approve you. And unaudited financial statements are accepted. Due diligence is not necessary. It depends on the loan amount, but for $10,000 to $250,000, from Citibank's perspective, those are small transactions. So they will not require due diligence. They're not going to ask you for audited financial statements. They might ask you for a business plan. So this is really important. And again, folks, when they ask you for a business plan, you want to submit to Citibank a compelling, professionally written business plan. I'm not asking you to go on the internet and lift any business plan templates and trying to customize it based on your business and submit this to a Citibank. If you're really serious about obtaining a line of credit from Citibank that goes from $10,000 all the way to $250,000, you better spend at least the $100 or $50 on a business plan. Okay, don't even get me started with people who go on the internet and they just download those business plan templates, or they even pay people $5 or $10 to write a business plan. Are you serious? Are you seriously going to pay someone $10 or $25 for that matter and expect an impeccable business plan that you can submit to Citibank and actually get a business line of credit from 10 grand to $250,000? No. So you want to really, if you have no knack for writing business literature, please pay someone else to write it for you. And you can pay like $100 or $250. You can get a business consultant. You can go on websites such as Fiverr, Upwork, or a freelancer. The possibilities are endless. Okay, but you need to submit an impeccable business plan. Besides the business credit account, Citibank has what they call the relationship ready account. This is where the money becomes interesting. Okay, so this is ideal if your business has larger working capital needs. This is the line for you. The line amounts $250,000 all the way to $5 million, $250,000 to $5 million. Okay, and the interest rates are also interesting here. And the requirements for this business line of credit: your revenue must exceed $1 million a year. When we speak about revenue, we are speaking about gross revenue, pre-tax revenue. Okay, and the length of relationship with Citibank must be more than 3 years. So you must have been with Citibank for a while. They need to, so that they have an idea of your financial, of your cash flows, of your transactional history, and they might accept unaudited financials or audited financials. It depends on the amount. And in terms of due diligence, again, this is not required necessarily, but if you're asking for a larger amount, Citibank will conduct or have someone else conduct due diligence on your business to make sure that what you're saying to them in terms of your business model, in terms of your cash flows, are accurate. And a business plan is required also. Okay, but one thing I want to stress here is that Citibank will pay attention to your financial statements a lot. They'll pay attention to all 4 financial statements. Anytime we speak about financial statements here, people think that you only need to show your balance sheet and income statement and that's all it needs. No, you got to show all 4 financial statements. So besides a balance sheet and income statement, you better be ready to show a clear statement of cash flows. So Citibank will pay attention to the 3 categories in that statement. So that's cash flows from operating activities, cash flows from financing activities, and cash flows from investing activities. They will see the relationship between your cash flows, your cash inflows and cash outflows. And they will also pay attention to a lesser known financial statement called the statement of owner's equity. This is where Citibank will want to see the owners of the business and how much skin they have in the game. In other words, what kind of a cash infusion they have made in the last, say, 6 months or 1 year. And they want to have a clear idea of the equity in the business. Who are the people behind the business, or who are the institutions behind the business? So Citibank will scrutinize your statements of owner's equity. I want to talk to you about the benefits here, folks. We are still having a conversation about the Citibank $5 million EIN only business line of credit. And there are a lot of benefits you can secure from this line of credit. And basically for us, first thing is that you get greater control. And this is the main benefit. In other words, you're able to control your business because you have access to cash. You have access to cash at a very good rate. You have access to cash that you can tap into and repay at the end of the maturity date. I mean, at the end of the line of credit date. Okay. This is really important. You can use the funds however you see fit for ongoing operating costs, to cover gaps in cash flow, or take advantage of unforeseen opportunities or challenges. Okay, you don't need to have a specific use case outlined to secure the cash. You also have better flexibility. Okay, unlike a term loan, a business term loan from Citibank, where you take a lump sum of cash and have to make regular payments, a line of credit can actually be utilized as needed. You repay as you use the funds and only pay interest on funds drawn. You have affordability. With Citibank, this is really great because their line of credit has a lower rate than short-term loans of comparable size. Okay, and of course, rates and terms vary depending on your credit score. Everybody knows that. Depend on your annual revenue and other financial factors. And with Citibank, you have an easier approval. If you do things at the branch, you have easier approval. Okay, you want to talk to someone, you want to have a conversation with someone, bring all your documents. This is really good. So at the end of the day, you can use a line of credit from Citibank correctly to grow your business. With the cash that you have access to, you can fund everything from short-term activities to long-term activities. And specifically, short-term activities are really important. I'm talking here about getting the cash to fund payroll, for example, getting the cash to fund seasonal inventory. You want to take care of marketing campaigns. And those are things that can help you grow, because seasonality and cyclicality play a quintessential role when we analyze liquidity movements for a business, right? Because if you are able to have the amount of cash that you need at the right time to cover the whatever liquidity chasms you have in your balance sheet or in your cash flow statements, you can grow. And if you're able to grow, you can scale and you can have a sustainable business down the road. Thank you so much for your attention. I'll be right back right after this. Let me talk to you about eligibility. Folks, we are still having a conversation about Citibank's $5 million EIN only business line of credit. And I want to talk to you about eligibility. So qualifying for a business line of credit from Citibank is easier when you are prepared, okay? So you need to be established and operating within the United States. You need to maintain a business checking account with Citi. They say this, but it's better to have a business checking account and savings account. In other words, you want to have a broad and deep MPR with Citibank. MPR standing for multi-product relationships, really, really important. There might be, in some cases, personal guarantees by all owners who collectively own at least 51% of the business. This is an EIN only business line of credit. However, depending on your business's performance, depending on the sector you're in, depending on your credit score, depending on a constellation of factors, Citibank might ask you to provide personal guarantees, but those are on a case-by-case basis, okay? And you have to go to a branch. It's a lot better, and you can talk to someone there, or you can even call. This is not a problem. And one thing you need to understand is that they want from you. So all applicants should provide one government issued ID. This could be a driver's license or passport, and a business formation document. This is important. Business formation documents is important. I'm speaking here about your so if you have an LLC or you have an LLP, S Corp, C Corp, you have to show the registration documents, your articles of incorporation or articles of organization. You must show your EIN. You must show all business licenses and permits. The bottom line is that Citibank wants just to make sure that you are legit, okay? They want to know the ownership of the business. They want to know the percentage of ownership, okay? They just want to cover their ass. It's all about risk mitigation here. It's all about making sure that they know exactly who is behind the loan application or the line application. Big decision time, big decision time. Talk to me. Are you interested in this business line of credit? Do you have the resources? Do you have the right identification for this? In other words, do you have everything that I just said in terms of financial statements, business plans, in terms of your EIN, your business licenses and permits? Do you have all this? If you do, then give it a try. Okay, give this line of credit a try. there are extra criteria that Citibank pays attention to before approving this line of credit. And first, the credit score. Now, the thing here is that this is an EIN only business line of credit, but you can apply for this line of credit without EIN. And if you choose to apply without EIN, then you are telling Citi to pay attention to your credit score, right? And here, the requirements go in terms of credit score. Citibank wants you to have 660 to 850. However, they can go all the way to 550 or 560 around that neighborhood if you have a strong multi-product relationship with Citibank. In terms of annual revenue, they are pretty lenient too. The thing is that you can go from 100,000 to 1 million, and if you go above 1 million, then you can actually have access to their ready cash account, the ready cash line of credit account. Okay, and they also, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. They want to have an updated business plan. This is important. Not because they just want to know more, they want to have a clear idea of where you're heading, operationally speaking, but they just want to know how you're going to use the money to grow the company. How are you going to use the line of credit to make more money? Okay, it's important. So you should be able to thoroughly discuss the age and stability of your company in its industry. That's what I said earlier. We're speaking here, are we speaking about seasonality? Are we speaking about cyclicality? Are we speaking about sustainability? Are we speaking about scalability? Those are important elements that Citibank will pay attention to make sure that they are lending to the right industry and to the right entrepreneur. Okay, and also in some cases they might ask you for additional collateral. I spoke earlier about personal guarantees. It depends on the industry, but what we've seen, it depends mostly on the company and the financial performance. So if your company's balance sheet is lethargic, then your chances of being approved without a collateral are slim. They're low. But if you have a vibrant balance sheet, a vibrant statement of cash flows, a vibrant income statements, your chances of being approved are high. So those are things you need to think about. Okay, and you also need to think about the fact that Citibank will also look at the strength of your relationship with them. They will look at your accounts we have with them, your deposit accounts. They will look at how many liability accounts you also have with them. In other words, they will estimate their exposure to you, to your business, or to you as an individual before approving you. Before closing today's conversation, let me give you a few pro tips. If your goal is to be approved for the Citibank $5 million EIN only business line of credit, there are a few things you need to do. By the way, folks, I'm sure you have understood by now that when we talk about $5 million, that's the maximum limit, right? Basically, the money goes from $10,000 to $250 for the first tier, and from $250 to $5 million for the second tier, for the relationship ready account. Okay, so a few pro tips. You definitely want to keep your documents in order. It's important. You can keep your documents in order, and you can sort things out online. You can save the documents on the cloud. You got to have a secure cloud, though. It's important. If you're a business, you want to have safety for your data and your client data, your supplier data. Very important. So keep your documents in order. You can choose to save the documents on a USB hard drive. This is also possible. You can save it on. It could be somewhere at the office physically. Okay. Make sure that you maintain good credit. Maintaining good credit is quintessential if you're trying to get an EIN only business line of credit from a Citibank. The thing is that here I'm speaking about good business credit, not personal credit. Of course, maintaining a good personal credit is also good, but here we are speaking about maintaining a great Paydex business credit score, a good credit score with Equifax business or Experian business. And also your transactional history must be positive when we look at the SBFE and your LexisNexis. Okay, SBFE standing for Small Business Financial Exchange. And in terms of, let's talk about cash flows. Cash flows are important. Now, when you think about a business line of credit from Citibank, you're speaking about cash flows, right? But to get cash, you need to maintain good cash flows. It's kind of silly to think about it that way, but that's what it is. Lenders will lend to people who already have money or who are less risky, right? It's all about covering their ass. It's all about making sure that they are actually reducing the risk. Okay, so you want to demonstrate sufficient cash flow. Citibank will pay attention to your statement of cash flows. They will pay attention to the amounts in that statement, but they also reconcile the amount to your balance sheet. So this is important. And you need to determine if you qualify for a city business line of credit in the first place. So how long have you been in business? Those are questions you need to ask yourself. What's your credit score, your business credit score? What's your payday score? Do you make enough money at the business level? Can you afford the payments? Obviously, for a business line of credit, you are only paying interest on the amount you draw, right? However, make sure that you are financially secure to get into that transaction, if you will. And you can also compare small business lenders. In case Citi's line of credit doesn't fit your business's needs, you can actually look into other competitors. You know, you can look for Chase, what Chase is offering, or Wells Fargo, or even an online lender, or alternative lenders. Okay, you want to gather your documents. This is important. Gather your documents. We're speaking about business and personal tax returns, business and personal bank statements, business financial statements, legal documents, that is articles of incorporation, commercial leases, franchise agreement, and a business plan. This is important. So one thing I need to say before closing here, please always apply at a city branch or over the phone. Okay, do not do this online. If you do it online, you'll be taken care of by an algorithm, and you might not get the high limit that you need. So if you want to get a high limit on your EIN only business line of credit from Citi, you want to visit a branch and speak with a representative. All right, folks, this is it for today's conversation. I was talking to you about the Citibank $5 million EIN only business line of credit. I basically gave you an overview about this product. We spoke about business credit. We spoke about the relationship ready accounts. I gave you an idea of the benefits, eligibility, extra criteria, and the pro tips. Thank you so much for your attention. I'll speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.